Brendan Rodgers has been allowed to talk to Leicester City this morning. It looks like he's going to leave Celtic. And to talk about this, we've got Tom English on the line. Good morning to you, Tom.
Good morning.
What's your initial take on this from, I guess we'll start with the Leicester side of things in terms of them going after Brendan Rodgers. It had been touted that he'd been linked with the job over the last couple of days. Are you surprised, first of all, that he's decided to actually kind of leave the club and actually have a word with Leicester?
I'm surprised that he's about to leave mid-season. That's a little bit of a surprise. The fact that he is leaving is not a surprise at all. In fact, back in December, this was mooted that he was going to, because Puyol has been in trouble for quite a while now at Leicester. No, it isn't a surprise. It isn't a surprise that he's leaving for Leicester. It's an appealing job. They've got a lot of money, a lot of ambition. It's a stable club. He wants to go back into the Premier League at some point. He's done everything he can do at Celtic. The only thing that would have kept him at Celtic is if he got a big budget to try and kick on in Europe. That's never going to happen. So what else can he do where he is? He needs to move on. He's an ambitious guy. He needs to move on and for a new challenge.
Yeah, was there a chance almost that he felt that if he'd stayed another season or so that there was a chance that his stock might have fallen? Because obviously after what happened in his Celtic stint so far, his stock has certainly recovered a good bit.
It has. Well, it has, yeah. I mean, it has. He's won 7 trophies out of 7. He's on the verge, or would have been on the verge of winning a treble. But, you know, Europe, he's got Celtic into the group stage of the Champions League twice, but they haven't done well at all. They haven't done well in the group stage of the Europa League this time. So in Europe, he hasn't done it. But domestically, he's won everything. So I think, yeah, if he was to stay, I would imagine it would have felt quite repetitive for him. I know a lot of Celtic fans were really kind of buying into the notion that Brendan Rodgers was here for 10 in a row, this fabled 10 in a row that Celtic are going for. They're only on 7 in a row now, but if they get 10 in a row, that creates all sorts of history. He was never going to stay for 10 in a row. That's another couple of seasons after this one. I mean, Brendan Rodgers is a hugely ambitious guy. He's made no secret of that. He's loved the job he's done, but everyone here suspected that as soon as a good Premier League job or a job in Spain, he's a fluent Spanish speaker, would like to work in Spain, one of those jobs came up that he was going to go, and he's about to go.
Yeah, it certainly seemed that the Celtic job had taken Brendan Rodgers as far as he could go. Like, it seems a ridiculous question to ask. Did Brendan Rodgers take Celtic as far as they could go? But you mentioned the European failings over the past couple of seasons. Is there still another couple of inches this team can go forward with the right appointment?
Listen, say that again, sorry.
Is there still scope for improvement for Celtic under a different manager?
Well, in Europe, I think there is. I mean, the word is Neil Lennon is going to come in as interim manager till the end of the season, so Celtic can figure out in the summer what they want to do. Neil Lennon in Europe punched above his weight, beat Barcelona, pushed Barcelona into a 2-1 loss at Camp Nou, last minute goal for a winner for Barcelona. Brendan Rodgers has never got those type of results in Europe, but then Neil Lennon never got the type of results that Brendan Rodgers got domestically. So I think if Neil Lennon comes in for the rest of the season, Celtic might be weaker domestically because he was very consistent at Celtic, but he never had the consistency that Brendan Rodgers had. And the one set of fans here that would be euphoric at the moment to Rangers, or maybe 2 sets of fans Aberdeen, because they're not that far away from Celtic in the league table.
Yeah. In terms then, and a final point, Tom, in terms of the evolution of Brendan Rodgers over the past couple of seasons, the post-Liverpool Brendan Rodgers, what have you seen and what can Leicester City fans expect?
I think under Puyol, from what I can understand, Puyol was a pretty dour, deflating character, incapable of motivating the dressing room and playing pretty rigid football. Brendan Rodgers will be a big motivator. He'll be a big presence in that dressing room, and he'll want them to play the type of football that they played under Ranieri when they won the league. He will go back to that. So I think they will get a character who will bring the thing alive again with the force of his personality. And I think that's from my understanding, that's exactly what Leicester need, because Leicester have a decent set of players. I mean, I think they're in a false position, but they're in the position. They're only 8 points off the relegation zone. But for the players that they have, I don't think they should be there. and I fully expect Brendan Rodgers to get them back up that table again.
Tom, thanks a million for taking the call.
Pleasure.
Tom English there of the BBC, reacting to the breaking news that Brendan Rodgers has been allowed to talk to Leicester City. It seems that he's set to leave his role as Celtic manager.